Do I have to hit something?
Mhm.
No.
Well,
Okay.
good morning all, and welcome to Brekkie with the Guy Who Sews. It is Saturday, the 10th of June, and we're going to sit here today and make some gnomes, which is a cool little program that Cotton Cuts has made. You can buy the different ones. It's a lot of fun. But I thought rather than sitting here and doing it by myself, because I don't like doing the lives by myself, because it's always more fun with a friend, I decided to bring not one, but two friends with me today. So I have my good friend Martha from Martha's Creative Life, who have had here multiple times in the past, and she's always a lot of fun. So you're gonna have a good time just because she's here. But I've also brought along my friend Robyn, who is the social media marketing
Social
man?
media content creator, all kinds
Yeah,
of stuff.
for Cotton Cuts, which, as you know, I'm a big fan of, a big supporter of. I'm an ambassador for their puzzle mystery quilts, and we thought it'd be fun to bring Robyn along as well to join us this morning. And we're all going to go ahead and sew these little gnomes. So if you haven't seen what the gnomes are, it's a monthly project. You can go in, buy all 12, from month to month, and I'll ship them out each month, just like they do for the puzzle mystery quilt. Or you can do what I decided to do. I just went in and bought one just to see what it was all about. And you can buy the boy, which is the one on the left, I think. We'll find it when I make it. And then the girl gnome, and then they usually have two accent blocks. And so you can kind of pick and choose which ones you want. I just decided to get one block just to give it a go. And then they also have this grid thing as well, which I can't remember the name of, which makes putting it together a lot easier. I did not get that.
Quilt Smart Grid.
Sorry, Smart Grid. Okay, thank you,
Quilt
Martha.
Smart Grid.
Yeah.
Here.
Martha's the ambassador for this, one of the ambassadors for the gnomes, which is one of the reasons I thought it'd be fun to have her come along and join us. And yeah, it's just a fun little project, and I haven't done it before, and I keep seeing her and what's her name? The lady from Arkansas Gals.
Andrea.
Andrea. Okay, I knew it started with an A. I just couldn't get it. I figured, why not, give it a go. So for anyone who hasn't met Martha before, definitely check out her channel. She's a lot of fun. She's been doing this, what is it, coming up just to a year now?
Coming up on a year on the, it's actually be on the 20th of June,
Yes.
which is next Tuesday.
Yeah, so if you haven't checked out Martha's channel, head over there after you finish watching this wonderful live. Check out her videos, like, comment. We always love hearing from our viewers. And if you like what you see, consider hitting that subscribe button. She's, this close to 400. So if we can get her a little closer there, that would be wonderful. And to my knowledge, I don't think Robyn has a YouTube channel yet, but, maybe one day. Right? Never say never. We just say at the moment no. So let's go ahead real quick and just say good morning to everybody, because I see everyone's filtering in. We do start early here, so being on time is not a requirement or an expectation. It looks like we have Melly is here. Good morning. Good morning, Basita. Good morning, Lisa from the Awkward Quilter, Georgia. My friend Pam from Queensland, Australia. We have people here from all over the world, which I think is fantastic. She is here with us this morning. Mary G. Good morning, Fallon. You probably know Fallon, Robyn. She's been
Yes.
nice in the past. Let's see who else is here with us. Cynthia is here. Good morning, Shannon. It is good to see you. My friend Nancy is here. She's been sewing along with us for a little while as well. Good evening, Jan from Australia. I don't know if you know Jan, but she's been a participant in several of your puzzle mystery quilts. Teresa is here. Good morning. She's doing a wonderful job of her puzzle mystery quilt. She's been doing the lavender along with me, and yeah, she got her stuff done yesterday. It was a lot of fun to see that. Good morning, Chloe. Good morning, Gloria. Good morning, Beverly. Ange, good morning. Good to see you. I didn't see you last week, and I was getting worried you weren't doing well, so it is great to see you here as well. Christine is here. Good morning, Kathy and Katie Cross. I think I caught everybody. If I missed you, I apologize. It's not that I don't like you, it's just that the chat moves super quick, and as a man I can only do one thing at once, right? So it's kind of hard to check the chat and talk and everything else as well. So for anyone that felt it in just a little bit late, we are going to do the gnomes. I'm doing the May boy gnome because I thought it'd be fun to do something with graduation, because we do host exchange students here at my house, and sometimes they come in as 12th graders and get to graduate from an American high school. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to make it a door hanging and hang it on the front door. during like the month of May and June. So I've got the kit here. I have not opened it. I think it'd be fun for me just to rip it open and just see how well I can put this together without prepping, because I usually prep a lot ahead of time, read everything, kind of put everything together, so I'm not too confused when I get on live, because there's a lot of moving pieces, and it also helps me avoid my friend who shall not be named coming out. So we'll see what happens here. Good morning, Laura. Which one are you going to do, Martha?
I'm going to do the April gnome, and I'm going to do the girl. And she has little pigtails, and I thought that was super, super cute with the little pigtails. My mom always, when I was a little girl, she would, getting me ready for school, elementary school, she would either give me pigtails or ponytails. And I saw her yesterday and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the little girl gnome.
Yeah, that was fun. I remember you told me that was the one that you were going to do, and I thought that would be such a good little choice. And it was like, I wish we'd talked about this earlier, because I should have got like the one that's behind you, the March one, since I'm a ginger. So yeah.
And that's the girl. She turned out so great. I got her done yesterday.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of it's been a lot of fun watching you make it as well. I haven't had a chance to go over and see Andrea, but if you want to see more of the gnomes, definitely check out both Martha and Andrea, because you're doing is it the petites or the solids?
I'm doing the petites and Andrea is doing the solids, and they're both beautiful. But through this, I have found that I have fallen in love with petites. I'm like, I thought I loved solids. Now I love petites. And I'm like, oh boy, this is, they just give such dimension to your work,
Yeah, welcome to the dark side.
Great.
And then Miss Robyn, which one are you going to do? We talked about this off camera, but the viewers weren't here, so they don't know.
I'm working on January.
Okay.
And I'm actually halfway through this accent piece. And I started with the accent piece because it looked like the simplest one.
Yes.
So, and I'm, like I said, I'm halfway through. So I've got that much so far. So I've got some snowflakes coming together.
Yeah, and that's turning out nice. And I mean, the points look, from what I can see from here, the points look really, really good, which is not always as easy as one thinks. Because, let's talk just a little bit as we get ready and start sewing. And I promise I will get some sewing done eventually. I've been sewing for about 10 years. It'll be 10 years this December, and I'm self-taught. I learned here, right here on YouTube University. And, I'm getting better and better with complicated patterns, which I don't think this is. I mean, like, to me, this is something I just finished recently, which you'll get to see tomorrow.
More dogs.
Yeah, this is the mythical wieners or mythical dachshunds. I don't, I prefer to say with mythical dachshunds. But, I've been practicing for many, many years, but I think this is a project that you can pick up as an absolute beginner and give a go, because the instructions are right here. It shows you how to put it together. I mean, if you can put together a 66-piece jigsaw puzzle, you can do this. And we're going to put that theory to the test, aren't we, Robyn?
We are, yeah. We'll see.
How long have you been sewing?
18 hours.
18 hours. Yeah. So, we thought this would be a really fun project, and I didn't announce this beforehand because I asked Robyn if she'd be willing to come onto the channel and sew with me, and she told me I don't really sew. I was like, oh, okay. Would you be willing to give it a try? And she graciously, agreed to it, which I think is great. And so we got to put this theory to the test. Can an absolute beginner put this together? And as we've seen in the 18 hours since you started sewing, you've managed to put together half of one of these blocks, which I think is absolutely awesome. Like when I started, I started off with 6.5-inch squares. I was not confident enough to try anything as complicated as that. So, my hat is off to you already, because you've done a lot more in 18 hours than I did in my first 18 hours.
Well, thank you very much. But I've had about 2 years worth of prepping and instruction, to be fair.
That's okay.
So
you can have all the instruction in the world, but until you actually pull it out and start yourself, it's
that is true.
Yeah. So Jan says I need to keep my friend close. He's in his little bed. He's in his sleeping chambers, and that's where he needs to stay. And then let's see. Jan also asked you, Martha, are you planning on putting yours into a quilt, or what are your plans for the finished blocks once you're done with them all?
I keep going back and forth because I really love the idea of putting them into a quilt, but then at the same time, I really like the idea of having something that I can put on this wall back here, because this wall is pretty bare, and more like a wall hanging for each month. So March we'll have the boy, the girl, and then the 2 accent pieces, and I can put that up on the wall for the whole month of March and then change it out every month next year. So that's what I really am leaning towards. I just think it would really look nice to have something on that wall back there.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea for sure. I mean, I had my wall hanging behind me, my 24 by 24, and it's about the same size. But yeah, someone suggested, I think here on one of the lives when I was talking about this earlier, and they said, a door hanging would be good too, and that would work really well for me in my house. So I thought that might be another fun option as well. So yeah, putting it up on the wall or the door, I think is a wonderful idea. So all right, Cheryl's up there in Halifax today. I know she's been up there with some of the other folks up there doing Quilt Canada. It's a big quilt show. I would have loved to have gone, but just wasn't in the cards this time. But maybe in the future we'll get that done as well. So Martha, what have you been up to recently?
Recently, this week I've been on vacation from work. Work's been pretty busy. It keeps me running the household and all that. So it was nice just to have a staycation at home and relax a little bit. I was able to put out 2 other videos. One was my circle water bottle that I just absolutely love. My husband wanted one for his birthday, so he got one. And so I was like, well, I'll just unbox that. That's a little bit different than normal. And then I put out one for the unboxing from my bestest sister-in-law ever, Stephanie. She lives up in up north, and she sent me some happy mail unexpected. So she sent me a jelly roll. So I did the unboxing on that as well. I'm probably going to make that into like a baby quilt. I have a good friend of mine, good friend of my husband. She's having a baby here soon. I had made a video recently, but I was like, I might just make another quilt for her. And then yesterday, all day I was working on the gnome back here, and this one's the girl. So I got the video recorded for that. Now I just have to do the editing and all that. So that's
Right.
what I'm working on in the sewing room recently.
Good. Yeah, I mean, you've been staying busy, it seems like. So
Yeah, I stay pretty busy for an empty nester. My husband and I, we really stayed busy. And my daughter, she's in college. She's going to be graduating August the 4th. So I'm super excited about that. And she'll, find out what she's going to do next in life.
oh, that's awesome.
So she
Yeah.
keeps busy too, even though she's away at college.
Yeah, talk about the empty nesters. We just became empty nesters the other day. So again. So yeah,
I've been wondering about y'all, hoping that y'all been doing okay, because it is an adjustment. We love our children, and the special people that come in our lives like that. And it's hard when they're not here, but you learn to adjust and you just find new ways of doing things.
Yeah, and we do it
All of them
year.
at the same time, for being so successful, and so that makes it a lot easier.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, for anyone that's been following for a while, we had a wonderful exchange student from Macedonia, and 10 points to you if you know where that is. It's a small country right above Greece. She stayed with us from the end of August, and she flew home last night. She touched down in her home country about 2 hours ago, I think it was. Yeah, we miss her, but she is doing. She had a great year here, and I'm sure she'll be happy to see her mom and her dad and all her doggos as well. So yeah, we're doing okay. We do this each year, so it doesn't get easier, but we do. We love the experience, and we've already got our next student lined up. He'll be here in August. It's gonna be our first time hosting a boy, so that will be a lot of fun to have that different experience, because we've had the 3 girls so far. So good morning, Laura Lynn, I'm assuming it's Laura Lynn and not Kent, from Mum and Pop Quilt Shop. It is so good to see you. I haven't seen you here in a while, and I think about you guys a lot, and it's so good to see you. So thank you so much for hanging out. Jan says, I don't think I'll ever be empty nest, and my son has it too good at home. Yeah, that's the other issue that you can sometimes run into is, yeah, if you make it too good for your kids, they may never leave. So
Oh, when my daughter gets ready to come home, she'll be like, what are we having for dinner? I'm like, okay, it's time to ask the question. Well, what do you want for dinner while you're here? And she's like, I want red beans and rice. I want homemade pizza. And that's what we had this past time she was home. And I'll have a whole list of things that she would like to have. And she's slowly learning how to cook. It's not really her forte yet. I hope that it will be one day. But yeah, it's the home cooked meals. Those are the best. So
Yep, I've got one home for the summer, college student, and every day, Mom, what's for dinner? So it's, 10 straight weeks, I think, of Mom, what special food are you making for dinner tonight? Like, okay.
it's important to them though, and we're just like, just in auto mode, getting it all done. And it's important to them. They're like, hey, Mom.
I never thought he would get tired of hamburgers and chicken strips, but that's, mostly what they serve on campus. That's
Right.
easy that he can grab. He did dive into some salads here and there, but they weren't even always readily available. So burgers and chicken strips and to-go meat, things he made in his dorm were normal for 9 months. And so he comes home and he's like, what are you cooking me? So.
But for me, my mom, when her and my dad got married, she didn't even know how to boil water. And I think she's one of the most amazing cooks that I've ever known. That's where I learned how to cook. And, down here in the South, homemade biscuits and all that kind of stuff. So I learned from her.
Yep.
But
my stepmom is from Georgia, and she taught me so much about Southern cooking when I would go down and visit in the summers growing up. So I have to say I learned all of my cooking skills from my stepmom.
Yeah,
I
love it.
Deep South.
What did you say, John?
I learned most of my cooking skills from my mother-in-law because we lived with her for a few months till we could save up some money and get an apartment and everything else. And I figured, well, if I'm living here, I don't want to just be a leech. So I didn't know how to cook really because my experience in home ec was not the best. I didn't really learn anything. I mean, but then again, as a 13-year-old boy, do you expect them to really learn anything in home ec? But in Australian schools, they require it. So And
I made both of my sons I have 3 sons. One's getting ready to start high school, but my other 2 are in college. I made both of them take the foods class in high school as one of their electives. So, and I think it's been great because they come home and when I'm not cooking for them, they're able to do something reasonable for themselves.
Yeah, and that cooking class in high school is actually pretty good. We've had 2 of our 3 exchange students take that class while they're here. And they've learned a lot from it. So, I mean, I think that's wonderful to hear that you've done that because, I think it's a good learning experience. They need to, I think the kids, like maybe not in 7th grade, when they try to teach us, but once they get into high school or even college, I think it's important for them to learn how to cook because, once they get out on their own, even like McDonald's gets expensive and you don't want to,
And they need to have healthy options.
Right.
And cooking at home is always healthier. So.
Yeah. You've seen Super Size Me. You saw what happened to that dude after 30 days of eating McDonald's. It didn't go so well.
No.
I haven't thought of that movie in a long time.
No, I haven't either, but I was just thinking, like, if that's your only option, then it's going to be fun. Christine says her son is at school over the summer with no dining hall. We've been having FaceTime cooking lessons. Oh, that's awesome. That's a good way to do it.
Yes.
Laura Lynn says she is starting to feel better each day. She, I don't know if you guys watch Laura Lynn, if you don't, you should definitely head over. I think she has a live usually about 1 p.m. I never get to catch it, unfortunately, because I'm usually out running around doing errands on Saturday afternoons. But one day I'm actually going to catch one, I promise. But yeah, she's just a lot of fun. But yeah, she's had some health issues and we've all missed her. And her husband stepped up to the plate and did some lives while she was out. But it's really, really good to see her as well. Good morning, Donna. I didn't see you pop in, but it's good. Pam's asking me, does it mean I know how to cook a kangaroo steak? If you give me a kangaroo steak to cook, I could probably go out, back on the barbie and cook it quite well. I cook a mean cow steak, so I can't imagine cook as long as I know how to cook the kangaroo steak, like what its differences is, because it is a game meat and that sort of thing there. I'm sure I could do it. It wouldn't be, there's not much that you can throw at me that I can't do if I have a good set of instructions. All right, so Donna's here. We said that. Did I miss anything else? Yeah, Jan says I taught my son to cook so he gets his own meals. Okay, excellent. I think I caught everybody in the chat. If I missed your question, just go ahead and pop it back in for us. Donna's doing a wonderful job putting in our links for us. If you
Donna.
All right. So if you want to know more about the gnomes, I did put a whatever those things are called. You type it in. It's exclamation. A link. Thank you. Yeah, in the chat. You can put exclamation point gnome, and it'll point you straight to the homepage for the gnomes. You can pick out whichever month you want and that sort of thing there as well. And just like the puzzle mystery quilts, I love this because usually Friday night I have to sit for, I usually choose, well, I don't have to, I choose to. I usually sit about an hour or two cutting out my fabric, getting everything ready to prepare for my Saturday morning live, because I don't want to be half asleep doing it at 6:30 in the morning. But the nice thing with this is it's all pre-cut. This is how it comes. Well, I've messed it up a little bit. So all I had to do is open the package and start sewing, which, I love. So it's a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it so far, and I've already done a complete row.
All right. Woohoo.
It can go together fairly quickly. Okay, let's see what I was doing. Trying, and it's nice that it looks like there's only two shapes. There's a square and a half square triangle. So it's again, this is really, really good if you are a beginner, because there's not all the puzzle mystery quilt. I do believe is beginner friendly. I am just not doing well with my words this morning, but there are several different shapes and sizes and everything else. But I think this is super, super beginner friendly just because there's only the two shapes. It's either a triangle or a square. Have you noticed that with your other ones as well, Martha, or is that just?
Yes, I have. Mine have all been triangles and squares so far. And with the April colors, they're just so beautiful. Of course, the purple is gorgeous. And then the yellow is not like a bright yellow, it's a muted yellow. So Cotton Cuts did such a beautiful job picking out the colors for each one of them so far. I've really loved it. I mean, even the March girl gnome, the colors were just so vibrant. And if I have a minute, can I share with everyone the Quilt Smart Grid?
Yeah, absolutely. I had someone asking me last night if I was going to use this smart, whatever you call it. If I was using it, and I figured you could, either one or both of you might be using it. So I figured, well, let me do it without. But I know people were asking about it. So go ahead and tell us, because I know there are people interested.
Andrea over at Arkansas Gal, she's been doing some with the interfacing and some without. But I'll be honest with you, until Cotton Cuts asked me to be an ambassador, and they sent me the package, I opened it up and I'm like, what is this stuff? I had no idea what it was. And so how it comes if you order the interfacing for, however many that you buy, because Cotton Cut sends me the 2 accent pieces, the boy and the girl. So I get 4 pieces of it, but it's a long piece. I mean, it is the dimensions 14 by 26. So that's a really nice piece of interfacing. One side is bumpy, and that's where the glue is, and the other side is smooth. So of course you're going to press your squares on the side that has the glue on it. And what's nice is, even though the gnomes and the accent pieces are 6 across, you actually get 8. No, 7. I'm sorry. You get 7, and then there's like 2 down at the bottom. So if you wanted to play around with it and, make something else, you can. But it's been a game changer for me because, one, it saves me time, and then it helps me to be a little bit more accurate with my gnomes. So I just think the world of the Quilt Smart Grid. It was a perfect, I think, addition to put with the gnomes to help everyone to be able to, but it's such a choice if you want to get it or not. A lot of people maybe don't want to try it, or they do want to try it, but you have the option to choose whichever one you want to do. And I like that.
I've toyed with the idea of like trying this one without, and then maybe trying another, get another gnome and trying it with and doing a comparison. I think that'd be a lot of fun as well. Chloe says, I'm using the Quilt Smart Grid for the May Accent 2 block now. It looks like the caps toss in the air. Yeah, Chloe.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, I'd love to hear how you're doing with that, Chloe, as well. That'd be a lot of fun to get your input on that. Yeah, that'd be fun. All right, Donna's saying good morning to everybody. That's the way I should do it. You just make a big old list. I just love the interaction between everybody in the chat. We're always so friendly and happy, and everyone says hi to everybody. And yeah, sometimes it's hard to keep up with it all. So, Jan says that kangaroo steak is awful. I've never tried it. The only time I ever saw kangaroo like meat in the stores at home was at the pet store. It was something that you could feed to your dog or your cat. And I don't know, to me, like the kangaroo is like on the Australian emblem along with the emu. It's like neither animal can move backwards, so we're always moving forwards. It was the what I've been told was the reasoning behind it. I just haven't, I don't know, I just feel a little uneasy eating our national animal. It'd be kind of like us here in America trying to dine on the bald eagle. I know some people have had it, some people eat it, some people like it, some don't. I don't know that it's, all kidding aside, I don't know that's something that I would actually go ahead and, try. Just, I don't know, I'm just weird.
Well, I didn't even know you could eat kangaroo.
Hey, we're always learning something here. We learn something new every time here on the live, and sometimes it's not what you expect.
Truth right there.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get here on this live. It's kind of like the box. We're just here to have a good time and enjoy each other. Okay, Pam says if it's super fresh and cooked properly, kangaroo steak is lovely. Now that might be the difference too. Like if it's fresh, which I don't know how you get it fresh unless you go out and hunt it yourself. Matthew, who the first husband of quilting, who's Fallon's husband, if you don't know that, says that kangaroo jerky is quite good. That's interesting. I might be okay. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know that we're going to do it. Sean tries strange foods live anytime soon. Maybe that's something. Maybe that's something Matt can do on his own channel someday.
You can make a special video for that.
We'll let Matt do that. Okay, let's see. Jan agrees with me. She says I'm the same way. Pam says it's not done properly. It's stringy and as tough as old boots. Roadkill. Yeah. Okay. So we've learned all about how to cook your kangaroo. The next time you get into an argument with someone over how to cook kangaroo, now you can say I learned here on Sean's channel from all his friends. This is how you cook your kangaroo. So I'm glad we could. Okay, Fallon says I could try some alligator. I would be willing to try alligator sometime. I've heard some people say it's good, some not so much.
If it's cooked properly, it's really good.
Yeah. I'm open to the idea of trying some alligator sometime. So I
Have y'all ever tried shark meat before?
yes.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm a fan of shark meat. I've had it several times, and yeah, I've had buffalo. We had buffalo. Was it buffalo pot roast? I think it was once out in Colorado, and that was really good. My mother fed us ox tongue once as a child, and that was kind of just like eating ham. That wasn't terrible. Now there we go. Shark is delicious. Steak of the sea. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Penny.
True.
It is. I was wondering what it was called. Pam was saying here that shark in the fish and chip stores here in Australia. I'm saying here in Australia. I'm not in Australia. Although if I want to declare my home Australian soil, maybe I can. Who knows? Is called flake. And yeah, I've had that many, many times as a child in Australia as well. Jan says she's had crocodile and liked it. Shalehi said, and I probably butchered that name and I apologize in advance, says the most adventurous meat I've cooked is rabbit, and I kept feeling guilty thinking Bugs Bunny. It's funny that you mentioned that because I remember we were at a Boy Scout camp when I was very, very young, and someone offered rabbit, and I was like, yeah, I can't do that, because I think we just finished watching like Who Framed Roger Rabbit at the theater like a few weeks prior, and I'm like, I can't eat Roger Rabbit.
Oh. Rabbits are my favorite animals. I could never eat a rabbit. Just can't do that. And
So,
I think she pronounces her name Sheila, Sean.
Sheila, okay.
Is it right? Will you let us know? I think I remember hearing it in another chat somewhere that was how you pronounced it. I think so.
Usually when I have names I don't know how to pronounce, like because I work in international shipping, and we have a lot of different, people from different backgrounds, and yeah, some of these names I just don't know, and so I'll go and Google the pronunciation before I pick up the phone and go call them. So I don't know. Because I don't want to mispronounce people's names if I can avoid it. Like I have people call up looking, they'll call up, they don't know how to pronounce Sean. It's a very unusual spelling, and some people will pronounce it as Sin. And so, yeah, and that doesn't bother me. Yeah, I've got bigger fish to fry, or shark, I guess. In the world, I've got bigger issues to deal with than how people pronounce my name. But yeah, I do like to, pronounce stuff properly whenever I can. So, oops.
Well, I don't have anyone pronounce my name wrong, but they spell it the other way. So it's usually 50-50 whether or not it gets spelled with a Y or an I.
Right.
So, and then people ask, oh, does it bother you when they spell it wrong? It's like, no, not really. It's not something to worry about. So
I'm the same way. People like, because I work, in basically a call center, and they'll ask for my name, so that way if there's an issue, they can call back and say I spoke to Sean. Even though there's only two gentlemen in our department, one of an Australian accent, one of an Indian, you can pick us out pretty quickly. Not like there's 8 ladies. They'll call back and go, okay, who just talked to? Oh, lady, which one? I don't know. So, but yeah, we can't hide like that. But yeah, like they'll ask how I spell my name, and I'll like it's S-E-A-M. But if you want to spell it some other way, I really don't care. I've got, as long as you write down my name and who you spoke to, it doesn't really matter to me.
Yep. I mean, I've got more important things to worry about. So,
Yep.
But I get a lot of apologies when people spell it wrong. I'm like, it's fine. We know who we're talking to.
Exactly. And that's how I feel about it too. So, you spell my name wrong, I'm not going to be upset. I really don't. Fine.
I grew up with a friend who spelled it the same way you do. So it looks completely normal to me.
Yeah, that's
too.
Yeah, it's more the way I spell. Well, the way my parents chose it is fairly common here in the US, is what I found. In Australia, it was not. The other Sean's that I knew was it was more common to be S-H-A-U-N. My parents like to spell them our names differently, I guess, maybe to differentiate us from the other kids. I don't know. But yeah, because my brother was Brian with a Y, and then my sister is Shelley with an IE at the end. I've seen a couple of other IEs at the end for Shelley here in the US, but it's not common at all, from what at least from what I've seen. I mean, maybe someone else's community is watching has, 10 Shelleys that way, but who knows? All right, so Donna's on her way out to graduation parties. Yeah, she's had a lot of her grandkids graduating and everything else. So that sort of thing there. So it looks like we have some adventurous people with food, and then we have some that play it very safe. Like Pasita says she's like Fallon, they just play it safe. I'll try new stuff if I get the chance, but I'm not going to go, I don't go seek it out, if that makes sense.
Yes.
But I do like, if I travel somewhere and I go to a restaurant, I try not just to get the plain old cheeseburger or something else. If they have like a local delicacy or a local staple that they have at the restaurant, I do try new stuff as well. Although I do know to stay away from the Rocky Mountain oysters or meatballs in Jamaica. So you don't have to worry about that. I have learned that trick before I learned the hard way. So. All right, so we've got row 1 done. We have row 2 done. So I can do stuff and talk at the same time.
Look at you.
No, it's like I've done this before. How are you doing with yours, Robyn?
Good. I've been listening more than sewing, but I got another strip done. I mean,
Nice.
now that was easy because it's all white. So this was not a challenging one.
Take
But-
the easy victories when you can.
That's right. Take the win. So I'm starting to work on my little my little triangles in a different color. So I'm kind of happy that I've moved on to the bottom and now we're going to do a different color. So I'm getting ready to do these together.
Excellent. And I mean, you're doing great. I mean, being able to listen and sew at the same time, I struggle with that on a daily basis sometimes. So the fact that you can do that is, yeah, especially well, it's closer to 19 hours now that you've been sewing. I think is an absolutely awesome thing. All right, let me just make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, I am. Because my friend would like to take a nap for a while longer. I'd like to help him do that. Okay. So, are you pressing your seams open, Martha and Robyn, or are you doing it to one direction?
I'm doing directional.
Okay.
And I am too.
Okay.
I tend to not press my seams open. I know it's the great debate whether to press your seams or press to, one side. I just prefer, unless the pattern that I'm working on really calls for them to be open, I just press to the dark side.
Yep. I pressed to one side for many, many, many years. And I mean, everyone's going to have a different opinion. Like you said, it's the great debate.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably better to start off with to one side. And then if and when you feel comfortable trying open, try it. And then just go with whatever you feel is best.
Right. I agree.
There's certain times where I try and press it open and it just wants to fight me no end. And I'm like, if you're going to fight me that hard, I'll do that seam to one side. But
Right.
yeah, you can do it. I am enjoying the open and I press open when I can. But yeah, if it's going to fight me too hard, I'm just not interested.
Well, this is another occasion where I've got so much knowledge from all of these other people that are in Cotton Cuts Fabric and people that I talk to on social media on a daily basis. I've got 2 years worth of knowledge and opinions that have all come at me that I've stored. So I could hear them kind of debating in my head as I'm starting to do this stuff. So I feel like I've got like 3,000 tutors within our groups that are already kind of pushing me along and helping. So I got all this knowledge. I just have to now channel it down onto the sewing machine and actually do it. So, but that is one of the debates, which way to do your seams. And I've listened to everybody, and by the time I get finished with this gnome, I'll probably have tried everything.
So
So
instead of graduating from YouTube University, you're graduating from Cotton Cuts University.
that's right.
Yeah, that'd be a new thing. I mean,
Didn't even know that was a thing.
yeah, I think that was a Cotton Coast University. I guess I have to sign up for lessons in the fall semester. I really do say try, go with what feels comfortable, but try both at some point, and just see what works for you. I mean, at the end of the day, this is your, I'm going to say it again. I've said this many times. This is your craft time. This is your fun time. It's kind of like Burger King. Do it your way. There is no quilt police, as far as I know. It's, you're not going to have some little old lady knocking on your door going, Robyn, knock, knock, knock. What's wrong? Now, if you submit something into a quilt show, yeah, there kind of are quilt police there, but I don't see Robyn entering this into a quilt show anytime soon. So,
No, probably not. No.
yeah, just have some fun. All right, so we have a question here from So Yarn since I don't know if it's Sheila or not.
It's Sheila. It's Sheila.
Okay,
Mhm.
So she's asking a good question here, and I'd love to hear other people's opinions on this. Is if you shorten the stitch length, can you press open? I'm a beginner. Now, me personally, I usually stitch at 2 millimeters. I know some people do a little shorter, some do a little longer. I mean, whichever stitch length works for you, go with that. I'm not going to tell you, what you should do. Now, if you're doing foundation paper piecing, you do need to shorten it to about 1.3, 1.4. That way it just stays together and that sort of thing there. But I'm talking just a regular piecing like this. I don't change my stitch length based on how I press. I'm sure if you shortened it, I don't know that it's really going to make any difference from my understanding. Now, if someone else in the chat knows differently, I would love to hear it, because I do not proclaim to say I have all the answers. I know I don't. And I learn so much from my viewers. So if someone else knows more than me, yeah, I'd love to hear that as well. So yeah, Pam's is kind of disagreeing with me. She says, do whatever you're comfortable with. Yeah, I wouldn't really change my stitch length based on how I press it. Just go with whatever stitch length you're comfortable with and stick with that is what I would suggest. Okay, so now I'm getting distracted. I don't know what I'm doing.
You're on the live with me and Robyn and all of our wonderful friends, and you're working on a gnome for Cotton Cuts.
Excellent, thank you.
You're welcome.
So some days I wake up and I am like ready to go, and I'm fully awake and aware and everything else. But yeah, it's just not today. Okay, Pam says I haven't found shortening the stitch length makes any difference when opening ironing. Okay, perfect. Okay, good. I didn't think it would, but I wasn't going to sit here and say no, it makes no difference, and then find out that I was wrong. So thank you for confirming that, Pam. I appreciate that.
And I love our community that we have. I know I've said it a million times, and I'll say it 1,000,001 times. We have an amazing community of just friends who help each other out. And there's so much knowledge that's out there, and we just share it with each other. And I just absolutely love that.
Yeah, and I mean, because yeah, we all have our own skills. We've all had our own experiences, and yeah, I mean, between all of us, we have so many years. Like, I don't know how many years it would be altogether. Like, yeah, why not use that information?
Right.
I'm not scared to ask questions. I know there's people out there that know more than me, and I figure if I can ask them and get the answers I need, then why not? And people are just more than happy to help. So
There'll always be somebody that knows more than you, and there'll always be somebody that does not know as much as you know. And we're all on our own journey. I've had to learn that recently. But
yeah, and that's something that I know you and I have talked about in the past, Martha. That's like we all go at our own speed. We're all at our own pace, and level. We don't all know everything. Like, some people can sew quicker than others. Some can, do more complicated patterns than ever. But yeah, you just do you. Like, some of us started earlier than others. I've been doing it 10 years. Martha, how long have you been quilting again? I can't remember. I'm terrible.
Well, pretty much right before the pandemic happened is when I really started getting into it, because the sewing machine that came from my aunt when she passed away, my mom and dad gave it to me. It went on the fritz and just died. So there for a while, I couldn't sew because I didn't have a machine. And then that's when I got my little brother machine. It's almost pretty much just like yours, Sean, and not the exact same model. And so I sewed on that for a while. And my husband's like, "You're really enjoying this, aren't you?" And I said, "I am." And he says, "Let's go get you another machine." So then that's when we got the Baby Lock Verb. And this one does embroidery, but I haven't done that yet.
Hey, whenever you're ready. And if you need help with embroidery, Pam is doing a lot of fun stuff.
Yes, I love seeing what she has done. She has done such an amazing job on her embroidery so far. I'm loving watching it.
Yeah, so if you need help with that, yeah, definitely go over and say hi to her. She'll be more than happy to help you. She's a lovely lady. So I've got my first 2 rows done. It goes together. This is fun. Like it's 6 pieces across. And
Oh, that's cute.
That looks good.
So, even though I'm distracted, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm only 3/4 a week. I can actually get something done. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. All right. Good morning to Miss Beth from Goody Goods. It is good to see you here this morning. She is also an ambassador for Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mishra Quilt, and I believe she is doing the Petting Zoo colorway. Is that correct?
Beth, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I was wondering who was going to get that wonderful Tula Pink colorway, and I was excited to see it was my friend Beth. Beth and I have been good buddies, I think, pretty much since she started her first YouTube videos. So
Beth is doing the small, and Ian actually is doing the large. We have 2 people doing
okay.
the Tula.
All right.
So
want to go ahead and spill the tea for me and let me know who's doing each colorway, because I only know a few. I know what Becca's doing, like what's on the blog so far. Or is that still like secret?
But no, it's not. I'm just I got to remember, I'm going to leave somebody out, but Becca is doing cotton candy. And she and Ian had a thing going, and I hope I'm not sharing something I'm not supposed to. I don't think so. But they had a thing going where Becca decided that she was going to let Ian pick the colorway that she did to get out of her comfort zone. So he picked cotton candy for her. So she's doing something very bright. So that was kind of a thing between the 2 of them when we were picking.
I might have had a hand in that.
Lots of behind the scenes stuff going on. Crystal Hart is new, joining us this time, and she's doing fortune teller.
Yes, I love Miss Crystal. She's a fun lady. She's a fun channel. And I was so excited to see when she announced that she was going to join you guys as an ambassador. So yeah, she's gonna be great.
She's adorable, absolutely adorable. I love her.
She's such a sweetheart.
Amber Marriott, who does So Majestic, is doing lemonade, and she's currently doing a village green. So this will be her second one with us. And she's been working on cornflower.
Yes.
Let's see what else. Anne Hunt, who is from Canada, got the Ferris wheel one, which is the steampunk.
I love that one.
Yeah,
everybody, I mean, I knew as soon as I saw it that people are going to go crazy over this one.
Yes.
Because it's just so different and distinct. So she's doing that. We don't have all of our colorways. I mean, we never have someone doing every colorway.
Right.
Because that's a lot of ambassadors.
Yeah.
But I believe this time so far we have 12.
Oh, nice.
And I'm trying to think, you're doing Bomb Pop.
Yep.
I'm not an ambassador, but I'm going to do the sleigh ride one because I want a Christmas quilt.
That'll be fun.
So who else? We have a new person, and I feel very bad because I can't remember her actual social media name, but her name is Katie. I want to say it's Katie May Quilts, but she's brand new. Brought her on about a week ago, and she's going to do the ring toss, which I think is the other batik.
Yes, it is. I love that one. Like, because you guys changed the colors up on
We
that
did.
last minute, and because it's very, very similar to the Benet, which is the one I did for So Sweet.
Mhm.
And that's yeah, I'm really looking forward. So Kate, is it Katie Tries Quilting? Is that the one?
I think, and I had to
Younger.
restart my computer so my stuff isn't up, but I can answer that for you. I want to say it's Katie May Quilts.
Okay.
It's um and I've been looking at Katie Tries Quilting actually. She's been following us, and so I've been looking at her page.
I think she's getting
So,
I think it's her wedding day today, so I don't think she's
oh,
around today. But yeah,
well,
she's
she's
been going.
probably not doing this today then.
I very much doubt she's here with us today. Maybe, maybe. Maker Jane is doing Candy Apple, I've been told.
Yes. Andrea is doing Skydiver.
Okay.
Trying to think what else we have. There's another one that was really, it's sold out already, I think. There's only one that's sold out that we know we aren't going to be able to replenish, and that one is the log flume.
Yeah.
The other ones, the PMQ team is working frantically to see if we can get some more and be able to open them up again, and we have wait lists.
Right.
I'm trying to think. I know there's more, and it's not coming to me.
Okay. It's early in the morning. I mean, it's not even 7 o'clock, not even 8 o'clock where you guys are. So, you know, you did more than I could. Okay. Pam is asking if you have an ambassador in Australia. I'm assuming the answer is not yet.
The answer is not yet. But you know, Sheila, who actually designs the quilts, she's in New Zealand.
Beautiful country.
So she may have some people over there doing some things.
Right.
I found when we were finishing up Piazza that you do have ambassadors throughout the world, and then you have some colorways that are only for international, and then you have the domestic ones, which are the ones that I'm aware of. But I didn't know that y'all had that, so that was a wonderful information to learn.
Oh, they're affiliated. They're not exactly. I mean, they don't all come out of our St. Louis, but yeah, and it takes a while to kind of figure out. You know, the people in the UK are getting some slightly different colorways, and then there's a whole list of other ones, or you know, some variation to the ones that are in Australia and New Zealand too, that Sheila works with. So there's variation. And it takes a little while to figure it out, because I have people that will occasionally ask us a question and say, well, I'm working on this colorway. And I'm thinking, I don't know what's happening here, because that's not one of ours.
Right.
So
Kim explained that to us really nicely when she was on 3 or 4 weeks ago, because yeah, I didn't quite understand how that was all working too. But yeah, like you said, Sheila partners with there's a shop in the UK, from what I understand, and then well, so yeah, they're all using the same pattern, but yeah, they're not using the same fabrics, because you guys get to choose
correct
which fabrics which I think is awesome. How you guys get, you know, you get the pattern, you get to see what the finished product looks like, but you have that freedom and flexibility to go out and pick all these beautiful fabrics. And I mean, I think you guys knocked it out of the park this time. You always
we're getting a lot of compliments on these. Yeah.
I mean, you always do a wonderful job. Like each time I've seen it, there's always been like a couple that I've wanted, but this time, like if I had the time, the resources, and the money, I could easily see myself doing 5 or 6 of these. I mean, the bum pop, the pet and zoo, the Ferris wheel will be a lot of fun. The one that Katie's doing, who's like the one I want to call a corn dog, but it's not. Yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. But yeah, this is so many this time around. I mean, you guys just really did knock it. And I loved how you guys were asked for input and voting on the colorway names. That was a lot of fun. You know, anytime you can get the viewers to hop in and help choose, I mean, they love that. And yeah,
it was fun.
It's a lot of fun. So hopefully guys get to do that again in the future, because yeah, I think we all enjoyed that.
That was something we kind of tried at the last minute, and we were like, well, let's see how this goes. And it was a big success.
Understood.
I was a little concerned when we had kind of split down the middle voting going on.
Mhm.
Because you don't want to, it shouldn't matter what we're naming them. But yeah, when it's split like practically 50-50, you kind of worry about whether or not someone's going to say, oh, I don't understand why that one didn't get picked over this one. But everybody, I mean, it was just for fun, and everyone seemed to get a kick out of it. And it kind of took some of it kind of jumped some of our work on everybody else. So that's always good.
Yes. Okay, let's see.
Someone just recently in the chat said that, oh no, Chloe said it, that Cotton Cuts gives you extra pieces with the gnomes. So with the girl gnome that I was working on, this is all that I have left. Those are the squares. And look at all the triangles that I have.
Yep.
I didn't realize.
I'm only halfway done, but I'm finished with these two colors, and I have these sitting here. So
Okay.
it's wonderful, because if you make a mistake, if you when you're running it and it doesn't look right, you have extra fabric and you can, fix the mistakes, or what you have left over. I'm going to try to do something special with it. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do, but we will find us something special to make with this. I wish I had one of Fallon's clappers right now.
Those things are fantastic. Yeah. If you haven't seen Fallon's clappers, you definitely need to get one of them. And do you know what the clapper does?
no,
Robyn?
tell me what that is.
So basically what this does is once you iron your fabric, you press your seams down, you can put a little bit of, well, not with the pre-cut stuff like this. Usually you put like a little starch or some water or something on there as well. And then you iron it again real quick. And then you put the clapper down, because what this does is it traps the heat between the ironing board and this, and it makes the stuff super flat.
Okay.
And so they are well worth the investment. I went 9 years without one. I bought one quite recently, and I don't know where I went without, because when you get into like really complicated, like small pieces all together and a lot of seams, if it's not flat, it just becomes very, very cumbersome. And I learned the hard way. So I will not go without my clapper ever again. I don't use it like 100% of the time, but very, very much something that you should consider getting at some point in the future. Fallon does sell them, and she, her husband makes them, so you're supporting a small American business. And which I think is great. And they can even customize it. Like her husband was able to put my logo on it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Isn't that cute?
If you want to get one, I suggest getting two, because like as one piece is being, because you leave it sit there for like 10 or 15 seconds. And I always find that I want to have a second one so I can actually do something else while I'm waiting for it. But then again, I'm just impatient. So maybe you don't need a second one. It's just me. Who knows? Good morning, Jimmy.
The two is a great idea.
Yeah. So that's on my list to get to. And then she also sells these wonderful things, which I also highly recommend. I didn't mean this to turn into an advertisement for Fallon's business, but
no, I'm just thinking Fallon and I need to talk. So
this is what they call the quilter slide lock. And the beauty about this is when it's like a big ruler, but when you push it down, it grips the fabric. And you're cutting like yardage, or when you're trimming the edge of your quilt at the very, very, and that's something I did the other day when I was making the finishing the quilt for my exchange student. It's really, really good for that, because the fabric tends to slide. But with this here, it's got like 1, 2, 3, like 11 or 12 pieces where it stops and grips the fabric, and it's it just grips it so nicely. So something else to consider buying.
Okay.
I highly recommend both. I am not paid by Fallon to promote these items, full disclosure. But I love both products, and I would highly recommend them to anybody that is a quilter, because it is wonderful products. So,
and that's one of the first things is becoming getting into quilting is cutting your fabric straight. I wish I would have had one of those when I first started. I had such wonky, I still do have wonky fabric sometimes. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
it's-
I've gotten better over time, but I mean, having that just makes it so much easier. Like I don't have to really worry about it. I mean, I just push down and it's done. Like I don't have to worry about it.
we don't have cotton cuts all the time cutting all of our fabric.
I know that's another option too, is just get your cotton cut stuff and you don't have to worry about cutting at all. So all right. Beth says that Fallon's gonna make her spend money. Yes, yeah, definitely do that. Jeannie E, I'm butchering the name, I'm sure. She says she loves her Fallon's clapper. I got one of her handle and my name etched on it. Yeah, she has one that looks like an iron as well. That's a lot of fun as well. So yeah, definitely go over and check her shop out. I think I have a link for her shop somewhere, or I don't know. Let me go grab it real quick now that we're talking about it. Hang on, I got too much stuff all over the place. Okay, there it is. I'll throw her shop link into the chat real quick. And all right. So Brenda says here, a little history on the clapper. They used irons on wood stoves. It would get so hot to burn fabric. So the clapper was used to hold heat in so it wouldn't burn the fabric. So yeah, that's excellent. Thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah, basically, yeah, like exactly what she said. It holds the heat in. It makes it super flat. And yeah, I just think it makes everything easier. So, all right. I am so distracted today. It is not funny. All right, Jan said we need to get a supplier in Australia to stock them. I agree. I've talked to Fallon a little bit. I was telling her that if she can find someone in Australia to stock them and ship them and that sort of stuff there, she could probably get like a pallet of them and ship them down, because if you can do that with a container, instead of buying a whole container, you can buy space inside a container, and that would be a lot cheaper. Like you could do it that way. So yeah, that's yeah, down the road stuff. But maybe they'll get success. I hope they get successful enough to be able to do that. But then I think Matthew might have to get some help making them all. Okay, that's one thing I did want to say. Someone was saying about the price of international shipping for different things, and it's a little known fact, and I'm pretty sure it's still in effect, but if you prepay your puzzle mystery quilt, shipping is included for international, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Yep, we will ship it for free.
And that's awesome, because international shipping is no joke. It's not cheap. So I think it's awesome that you have done that to allow our friends in Canada, the UK, Australia, whoever, to be part of this without having to pay an additional cost to get it shipped to them. So yeah, if you're in Australia and you see the price for your puzzle mystery quilt and you're worried about shipping, you have to prepay it. You can't do it month to month. But they will, they'll ship all 10 clues out to you at once. You get the clues emailed to you each month. You kind of like the ambassadors, because we do it the same way. And it's going to save you a lot of money. So it kind of doesn't take you out of the running. So that might be something for you to consider. Yes, you do have to have the money first, Pam. I definitely get that. But I just like to, because I've said it a couple of times and not a lot of people know about it. So I just.
That is true. I mean, it's on the website and it's an option, but yeah, for some reason, it's one of those little things that kind of gets glazed over. The other thing that we're changing for this next PMQ is if you pay for everything up front, we're going to send you all 10 clues at one time. So, and that can be, within the United States. But if you prepay, we'll send you all 10 clues. And then once a month, we'll send you the email with the instructions, so that as soon as it comes out that first Friday or that last Friday of the month, you've already got your clue waiting, or I'm sorry, you've got your fabric waiting. Your clue gets emailed to you and you can start sewing that same day. So that saves on the 1 to 2 weeks of having to wait until your package arrives.
I know, and that's like how we've done it as ambassadors, because you ship it all up front and as well. And it's nice to not happen to sit there by your mailbox, because if you got to come today and then you see the empty mailbox because the post office is not going as quickly as you want
The
it to.
post office is not so reliable.
Yeah.
We deal with that all the time. And then, you know, it is funny, someone who's 4 states away can get theirs in 2 days, but somebody who's 100 miles away from St. Louis is waiting a week. So there's no rhyme or reason, and it gets frustrating, and people get worried that it's missing or that it's not in the mail. So if you can prepay all at once, then 1 through 10 is going to come to you in the first month.
Yeah. And I think it's a lot of, it's so much easier because, I remember when I did So Sweet, sometimes it wouldn't get scanned at origin and you didn't know if it was shipped. It quickly showed up in your mailbox, 4 or 5 days later. Usually mine showed up here in Virginia, usually on Monday. Like if you shipped it up Friday, usually it showed up on the Monday, occasionally on Tuesday, but I know some people's got, delayed. And I remember like there was one year I was selling, must have been 2020, when I was selling face masks to everybody. And like you said, with the distance thing, if I ship something that I'm on the East Coast over, by New York, DC, for anyone internationally, closest. I could ship stuff to the West Coast, which is 3,000 miles away or 4,500 kilometers. It'll be there in 2 days. I tried to ship something up to Washington, DC, which is like 150 miles away. It'd take 2 weeks. Like the East Coast is the East Coast network for the USPS, in my, based on my opinion, and is so much slower. If you can get it out to Texas on the West Coast, you can get on a plane out that way. It's lickety split. So I think that's been my experience.
Yep. Yeah, we experience, and for 2,000 packages that go out with every PMQ, it's a very small amount that actually has a problem, but it's enough that it does get frustrating.
Yeah.
When people track their packages and they're like, well, I live in Arizona, but I've watched my package go up to North Dakota and then over to Washington and then down. And now it's finally here, but it took like 9 days. And it's bizarre.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay, so Pam is asking if you can prepay. You can do it. Okay, so what you could do, Pam, I'm just reading your message here, is the signups for the spring one would probably go out later in the year, like October, November, right? Not going to hold you to this.
Yeah, we finish up Village Green. We're halfway through. So
Yeah.
Village Green finishes up in November, and then signups will start in December, and they ship out in February. So that's the next one.
Right. Yeah. So you'd have to wait till the signups actually go out in December, Pam. But if you set your money aside, when the signups go up, you could just prepay for it, and then you'll be all set to go. Jan's asking why you don't get notifications anymore when the next clue has been sent. Basically, from my understanding of that is, like she said, there's 2,000 packages. The post office is supposed to scan each and every one of them when they go through the system. But, sometimes they miss 1 or 2. They may miss all of yours. So you don't always get an origin scan. And that happened to me quite a few times with when I was doing So Sweet before I became an ambassador. It wouldn't have an origin scan, but it eventually, like once it hit closer to home, it would scan like in Richmond, Virginia or something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's still on its way. So it's not Cotton Cut's fault. That's something we need to yell at the post office for. But
yes, I think we overwhelm them because there are 8 to 10 big Santa-sized bags. And the postman comes in and he knows what day we're shipping out, but he puts 8 to 10 of these big bags full of those, little cardboard boxes or cardboard packages in. And I think he comes in and he just overwhelms the workers. And sometimes they don't get scanned until they get to the next stop, and they do the best they can, but I think it's a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, but if you prepay for it, then it'll just go out in one go and it'll get to you when it gets there. And then you don't have to worry about it for 10 months.
That's
So,
right. It just sits in your sewing room and you just wait for your clue to get emailed.
yeah. And that's, yeah, it's been a lot. I really like that. And I think it's a great thing that you guys have done, deciding to do that for the upcoming puzzle mystery, because it's going to make it a whole lot easier. Jan saying you did that. Do you guys email us when the clues go out, like when they're shipped, or that's what she's asking?
It's possible that there's an email that goes out. I try to always remember to put on Facebook in the groups, you know,
Right.
that our clue is shipping. I want to say it comes out with the newsletter, but I don't think the newsletter always coincides with the actual day that we're mailing. If you've got a tracking number, I believe sometime I would have to check with the PMQ team to find out exactly how they're handling that. But the shipping dates are always on your brochure.
Yeah.
So if you're ever in question and maybe you're not on Facebook, even at that time, you can always check your paper, because the paper will tell you what your ship date is every month. Because I know if you're doing two, you know, if you're doing the fall PMQ and the spring, one ships out the last Friday of the month, the other ships out on the first Friday of the month, which is not as easy because it's different months, but it's back to back. So
Right.
sometimes that can get a little confusing for people. It gets
Yep.
confusing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that little sheet that Robyn is talking about.
That's it.
Like this is one of the ones that I was working on for Piazza. So that's the front and the back. And then when you open it up,
And that
that's where the dates are.
that orange square right there has the
Mhm.
dates.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so helpful.
Yep.
Don't lose this.
Yeah, don't lose that paper.
Yes, I can tell you that from experience. I haven't lost a paper. I keep it very, very safe. But especially for colorways like lavender, where all the fabrics are so similar, you want to make sure you have that, because the dark fabric print, like, it'll show some dark and some light and some medium. The dark on the lavender, for instance, is not the darkest fabric, so you can't just jump off that. Now with my Benet for So Sweet, it was like I didn't really have
It was
to.
pretty obvious, yeah.
It was very, very obvious, and but yeah, not so much with some of the colorways. So yeah, do not lose that sheet of paper. Take a photo of it. Do something. If you happen to lose it, just post something in the Facebook group or something like that, and ask someone to send you a photo of it. You know, people are more than happy to help out as well. So if you do lose it,
absolutely. I rely a lot on everybody kind of being able to help each other.
Yeah.
Especially when someone asks that question and I'm not in the shop. And so I can't grab and see if we have a copy still, because it's month 7. I rely on everybody else to be able to help each other out, because there are times when I just can't answer the question. So.
And I think we have a great Facebook group that, you know, everybody really does help. It takes a team.
Everybody there is so friendly, and they make my job very easy.
Yeah. No, they're all great. I mean, I remember seeing someone once was missing their clue, and like, as an ambassador, Jessica, I think it is, usually sends out the clues to us each month, and they send us both the small and the large, which I think is great. You know, even though I'm only doing one size, so that way if someone has a question, I can hopefully answer it. And someone was missing their clue, and I was like, okay, well, just give me your email address, I'll send it over to you. And so I was able to help out in that way. All right, so it's coming together slowly. Got 3 rows done. I don't think I'm going to get this finished during this live, but that's okay. I wasn't expecting to. I thought it'd be a Christmas miracle if we did. Okay, Pam says that Australia Post is worse than the US Postal. Yes, I would tend to agree with that. I remember shipping something once to, I think it was Melbourne, Australia, and it went from here to New York, sat there for a couple of days, which I expected. It flew to Dubai. It stayed in Dubai for 2.5 hours and then made its way to Melbourne. And then it sat there for a week to go the last 6 miles.
Oh my.
Like you could have put it on the back of a donkey or a rat, or even it would have gotten there quicker than those
Or
people.
a kangaroo.
Yeah, pick your animal. Like, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, so yeah, I know we like to complain about our poor postal service, but yes, it could be worse.
And I learned something recently about for domestic here in the United States, the informed delivery with the United States Post Office. I had not ever heard of that until recently. So I like that. It doesn't help me like to know days or weeks in advance when something is coming, but at least I know what's coming in the mail. And, if you live in a place where you're concerned about your mail, and who has access to your mailbox, it's nice to know what's coming in so you can kind of check things off.
Right. Yes, but I think the idea that be able to prepay for it if you're able to is the way to go, because in that way you're only waiting for one package and then you're done. You just wait for your clue to come in, like, and then away you go. Because like I plan to do I do monthly lives with my clues. I invite people to come along and sew each month, and I don't have to worry about when the package is going to show up. I just wait to get to send me the email, and then I can just do it the next day. Like I don't have to sit there and wait. And I get it out. I'm doing it while people are still waiting for their clue to show up. So
I thought that was a fantastic idea, Robyn.
I was, my first thought is this is going to make life so much easier, both within our system at the shop, and it's just going to make a lot of our customers really happy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the things I love about y'all at Cotton Cuts. Y'all are just so, I have not had a negative experience. It's always been positive. Even before I was an ambassador for gnomes, I just fell in love with Cotton Cuts. And of course, my bestest sister-in-law, Stephanie, she's the one that told me about Cotton Cuts.
Thank you, Stephanie.
She's not on the live. She's probably taking care of the little girls, my nieces this morning at home and making sure they have breakfast and all that. But yeah, she is the one. She's like, we got to try Cotton Cuts, because we had tried to do a quilt block of the month and you had to cut everything out. We got one block done. One. We're like, that is the elephant in the room in our sewing rooms, and we have just left it there. We'll figure out future Martha and future Stephanie will figure out what to do with that at a later time. But right now, we're enjoying Cotton Cuts.
Yep.
yeah, and that's what I like about it too. Is like I sometimes come home from the office and I want to sew, but I don't want to sit there and have to cut the stuff out first and all that stuff. So yeah, I can just open up my package and away I go. So yeah, it's been I really do enjoy that part. And there's a lot of folks out there too that have they can't cut. They've
Exactly.
issues with their hands, carpal tunnel and all sorts of stuff. I have no clue what it is. And this way, they can still sew because they don't have to do that fiddly part. They can grab the fabric. You're good to go.
Yeah, you can just start. I get that a lot. A lot of people who are lifelong sewers who just don't want to do or cannot. More importantly, they cannot do the cutting anymore. And so it doesn't prevent them from being able to sew.
Yes.
And they go right to the fun part.
Right. Not everybody has a place where they can cut the fabric either.
Very true. Yeah. All right. Someone was asking, is the sold out colorways able to be restocked? The team is trying to restock as many as possible. The log flume, they said there's no chance. So if you want
log flume is done. Yeah. Kim put a message up there that said we are out of options and out of fabric on that one. But if you do see a colorway that you like, definitely get on the wait list, because that wait list is going to get attention and it'll open up to them before we open it up again. So the wait list is important, and I know they're working really hard on getting the rest of the fabric they need to open those up. So
Yeah.
wait lists are important.
Yeah.
And if you're on the wait list and you decide to go another direction, you can always just pleasantly decline and say, I'm going another way. But if you see one, just in the chance that we get fabric in, put yourself on the wait list.
Yeah, because I've noticed too, like in the past, you know, you've been able to get it again
Mhm.
quite a lot,
Yep.
not always. I mean, it's,
Yeah, last time we have hard sellouts like the Dahlia with the last one, which of course was Tula Pink. She's a very popular one.
Yep.
But it's all kind of a guessing game. You don't really know which colorway is going to appeal to the most people. You kind of get an idea. But the one funnel cake was one that sold out first, and it's kind of got that Southwestern theme going with the blue and the browns. It appealed to a few people in the shop, and then it did not appeal to some people in the shop, and it was widely popular.
yes.
So you just never know what other people are going to just be drawn to. So we do our best to kind of guess and plan, but it's a guessing game like a lot of other things. We open it up and then you just see how it goes. And lots of times we're pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Not with Tula. She sells out every time. But yeah, with the other ones, you just kind of never know what's going to capture somebody's eye. So.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And I mean, because like what appeals to me is not what appeals to everybody else. Like I've seen stuff that I would not get. And that's some of the stuff that sells at the quickest. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, I don't envy your job at all, trying to figure out how much of each one to get. Like, yeah, with Tula, it's easy. You get as much as you can put your hands on.
You hoard as much as possible.
Yeah, that one's that's a no-brainer. But other than
that's
that,
a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I wanted to say good morning to Dawn. I saw her pop in a little early and I forgot to say hi, and I apologize for that. It's always good to see you. Maybe you could kind of do like little teasers and see like going forward to see what people like.
Yep. Well, we did get a pretty good idea with the naming of the colorways. So maybe we'll have to expand on that and do a poll.
Yeah.
The fun thing, which of course is a background thing that I get the privilege of being able to do, which other people can't, is we examine and we look at the colorways when they come to the shop or when they're all created. So they're on the computer like you all see them. But then the fabrics come in. And when the fabrics come in, then I change my mind. So then I start to like one over another because I'm seeing the fabrics as they're coming in and they're getting checked in at the shop. And then I'm like, oh, well, that colorway was pretty, but now that I'm seeing the actual fabric in front of me, I like this one better. And then when they start to come together, I will change my mind again.
Mm-hmm. I can
so
understand.
it's sort of and I'll have, well, not buyer's remorse because I'm working on my first one, but my favorites will change from the start until the actual final reveal. So
you're allowed to change your mind.
I like I said, insider information. I see all these different pieces coming together and I get to see all the fabric before we start, and then we start assembling all of the final ones before the reveal, and I get to see 6 different colorways at the end. And yeah, everything changes all the time.
If you ever need help with that, I know someone that would be more than happy to help you out with that. So
who's willing to help?
who's willing to come to St. Louis?
Okay.
It's about 15-hour drive from here, so I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
Although, I haven't crossed off Busch Stadium yet on my list of baseball stadiums to visit.
Baseball stadiums.
Yes, I want to get to all 30. I've only got 24 more to go.
Oh, well, you're off to a good start.
Go Cardinals, Sean.
Yes. I have been to all of them in Canada. I did that in one night. Well, there's only one team.
One night?
Yeah, well, there's only one team in Canada, so if you get because the Montreal team went to Washington back in 2005. So, okay, so I do have a question here for you, just real quick, Robyn. They're saying that the waitlist email's not working. When I click on the waitlist, it won't work properly. Can they send an email to like your help desk or something?
Yes. Yeah. Send an email and I will have the team
Chris?
look at that. So, nope.
Because I don't remember it. Is it?
It's help@cottoncuts.com.
Yeah. So anyone that's having issues with the wait list, just shoot a message to help@cottoncuts.com and Robyn and her team will get you all sorted out. So don't get frustrated. They will take good care of you. Yeah, that is not that is definitely not the end of the world. They'll get you sorted out in that regard. So
They'll get you on it. And I know they're working on all colorways except for log flume.
yes. All right, excellent. Okay, so we've got that. Jan says she'd love to live near Martha. You're such an awesome person. I think we get along. Yeah, I think Jan and Martha would get on like a house on fire. I totally agree with that. Is the stadium entrance free? I heard parking in St. Louis is all money you need to worry about. I usually just take public transit into all the baseball stadiums. I don't park at the stadiums.
St. Louis's public transportation system is elementary next to other metropolitan areas. So I almost want to say you do need a car, but you could probably make it work. They have MetroLink, but it's not as sophisticated as like New York or even LA's transit system. But you could probably make it work. I mean, you could stay downtown.
Okay. I'll work it out one day when I get out there.
The art sure is beautiful.
Yes, I've seen the arch. I've been to St. Louis once. It was like 23 years ago. We went out to
That's about the time when we were there.
Yeah, we went out to Six Flags and yeah, that was an adventure. Because apparently it was the day like where like every man, woman, dog, child was there. There was some big event going on. Like the 2-mile backup to get off the interstate to get to the park should have been my sign to turn around and go back to Illinois.
Yeah, probably.
The ticket I had was free. I think we stood in line for 2 hours to ride one roller coaster, and we were like, "Yeah, we're done. We're leaving." So,
yeah,
I don't know.
It's not usually like that. There had to have been something else going on.
Yeah, there was like some big concert or something going on that night. I didn't stick around long enough to find out. I was just like, yeah, I'm done with this. I hate crowds at the best of times, and that was just not my idea of fun. So,
no,
I was like, it'll still be here one day if I ever need to go back. And now I get motion sickness, so I don't think I'll ever go back to too many more theme parks. But yeah, I can say I've been there.
Yeah, they're fun when they're younger. I mean, I spent many summers taking my boys and then dropping my boys off. So yeah, if the line is out on the highway, that's definitely a sign to just turn around.
And go, yeah. Well, see, I was young. I didn't know any better. So
yep. Well, if you're visiting, then you go and you do no matter what, because you're not going to be back like I am.
Yeah.
So
one of Awkward Quilter, Georgia, she asked if the gnomes are still available. I did just go to the website. It looks like you can get
all gnomes are still available. Yep.
Okay.
You can order any one from now through the June, and we have enough fabric for all of them that we should be selling them all year.
Yeah, and that's what I did. Is I just went. I went on to their website. I picked out the one I thought the boy May one would be nice because I wanted the graduation thing, and I just went through and found the one I wanted. I clicked buy. I threw it in the cart, checked out, and they shipped it out to me. So yeah, it's very flexible. You can pick what you want. You can get the accent blocks. You can get one block. You can get them all. You can get the quick.
Yep.
Smart.
And if you can always try one, see if you like it, and then build from there.
Yeah.
So
shipping's included in the US, I believe, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
I
Right.
don't think I think it was $15 and the gnome was $15, and I think I paid $15.91 altogether with my tax. So,
Mhm.
so yeah, and it's a wonderful little project for $15. You know, like I think value for money is definitely there.
It is, and I like how it's customizable too. You know, if you want to do more, you can. If you want to just do one, do you have that flexibility, Robyn, to change it each month? So say I wanted to do the boy this month, and then I wanted to do the girl next month.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
completely, you can change it to whatever that you want, right? Okay.
Yep. You can pick. I mean, you were talking about the smart grid.
Mm-hmm.
I have it. And in fact, Jessica was asking me, I was texting with her yesterday and showing her my progress because she's a very talented quilter. She's one of our other Cotton Cuts employees. And I was texting her and I was showing her pictures of my progress. And the first thing she asked is, how come you're not using your grid? I said, well, this is the first time I'm sewing anything. So I thought I'd try it without. But I have the grid, so I'll probably play with the grid at some point. But I think I'm going to do my January gnomes, all of them without it. And then we'll see what happens after I get through these.
Well, I applaud you for doing that because I haven't done that yet. And I think you're doing a fantastic job.
I don't know the difference yet, so we'll see. Because that was her first question. It made me kind of regret not doing the grid because her first question is, where's your grid? Like, well, I opted not to, but we'll see what I do with my February gnomes, maybe.
You're like, see, what had happened was.
I think
I'm playing with a new sewing machine as well as everything else that's new. So I thought I'd keep it kind of simple and we'll work on learning the grid next time.
Yep, I think it's good. All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap things up in just a few minutes, but let's go ahead.
Look at that.
It's coming together. I've got 4 of my 11 rows done, so I'm not quite halfway done. But it's turning out so nice. It's super easy.
It is super cute.
And it goes together pretty quickly. I mean, you just basically do your half square triangles and then your squares, they just all go together. You sew a row and then you sew the row to the next one above it. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's super easy. What progress did you make, Martha?
I'm pressing everything down, so I can't take it off the.
Not an issue.
I'll share it in just a minute. Okay.
How did you do with your progress?
Well, I did a bunch of triangles while we've been talking. So I've got 1 row finished with the triangles together. I did 1 row of just white, which was super easy while we were talking.
Okay.
So I didn't do a lot, but yesterday I found out when I was talking on the phone and trying to sew, it didn't go so well.
Right.
So, so this is what I did in the beginning. That's yesterday. And then I didn't do that much because I wanted to talk more than sew. And I didn't want to have to use my seam ripper the way I did yesterday when I got off the phone. So,
yeah. Do you want to bring that? Can you show that the top part again real quick? Because I just only got a brief glimpse of it. And yeah, just hold it there for a little bit so everyone gets a good view of it. There you go. Yeah, that looks wonderful. And this is for anyone that didn't pop in early, because I know everyone, you know, pops in as the live goes on, because we do start super early. Robyn started her very first sewing project yesterday. So when we say that this is beginner friendly, Robyn is a testament and proof that you can start sewing yesterday and do this.
Yep. So, I'm slow, but I'm about halfway through my first block of the 4.
Yeah. I think that's good.
I mean, as a Cotton Cuts employee, I can tell you all day long, this is easy. This is, you know, perfect for beginners. But actually having done it, I texted Kim yesterday afternoon. I was like, this is amazing. I can't believe I'm actually doing this with my first project. So if you're thinking about, you know, like wanting to get somebody into sewing, I think this is the perfect thing to get you started.
Absolutely, yeah, because like you did something far more complicated than I did on my first project. My first project was 6.5 inch square patchwork, which for me was great because I didn't have anybody to help me. Like I had YouTube University, of course, but I didn't have like a relative or a friend that sewed. So I mean, I figured I'll just go super simple. But yeah, this is easy. You know, it's yeah, for
I
one
have
block.
impressed myself.
Yes.
So
No,
As you should be.
do never ever worry about the speed. You know, like everyone starts off slow. You're better off in. It's kind of something I learned when I worked retail. Like I started retail stocking shelves after high school, back in the day when they had those pricing guns, you know, before they had barcodes.
yep.
And things they told us was that take your time because you have to put the item number on there and the price, and it had to be right because if you did it wrong, it took you 3 times as long because it was
Mhm.
took the right. The time it took you to scrape the sticker off, which could take 6 forevers because it had good glue on it, and then the time to change it and do it right. So you're better off going a little slower,
Mhm.
getting it right, and not having to pull out my good friend who actually did take a nice long nap during this slide. Where did he go? Here he is. Yeah, my
He's
very
now.
yeah, we can talk about him now. My very, very best friend Jack. So yeah, take your time with it, enjoy it. And I always like to tell people enjoy the journey. You know,
Yep.
it's not a race. Now, if we ever have a live where we have a race, that's a whole different story. You know, go as quickly as you can. And just don't invite, you know, the super fast people like Becca and Tiffany and that sort of thing there, because you'll never catch up with those two.
No.
But yeah, just take your time, enjoy the journey. Okay. Chloe was asking Martha, how do you not get your points cut off with the Quilt Smart Grid? And then someone else was asking, do you have a tutorial on that, on how it's used? And I believe you do, correct?
I do. Yes.
So definitely
In
go
a
over.
minute, look and see if I can find the link for it.
Yes.
Well, I will be tuning in to watch that.
Yeah. And did Andrea do a tutorial or show how it was done as well? Do you know, Martha? We're not sure.
I'm not 100% sure. Yeah.
Okay, not an issue, but yeah, they'll take care of that. And I might go and get one with the smart grid and do something myself because I wouldn't mind doing another gnome. This has been a lot of fun. So you may see a tutorial or something on my channel, you know, going down the road as well. But just don't hold me accountable to when that would happen because I always have the best of intentions and then life gets in the way. And what I wanted to do next week ends up happening like 6 years from now. So yes, Laura Lynn has a song about the seam ripper, and that's a lot of fun. I'm not going to sing to you because I like all of you, and I don't want you all to run away screaming. So, all right,
I have
Lindsay.
part of it done, Sean.
Oh, excellent! You've done well with that.
Yep, I'm not completely done, but this is so far.
Oh, that's excellent.
That is cute.
So Chloe asked a question. Was it Chloe? She
Yeah,
said, how do I not get my points cut off with the Quilt Smart Grid? You have these dots that make up your square. And what I try to do first is make sure that the not the triangles, I'm sorry, the squares are as closely perfect as I can before I press it down. And then when you go to, once you have it all pressed down and you fold it, I just try to get it lined up as best as I can. And then I just do a 1/4 inch seam all the way down. So are all of my points absolutely perfect? No, but they work pretty well. So
I'm going to have to give that a shot.
Hmm.
I think that'd be.
it's a game changer.
Yeah, I might have to give that a go soon.
Yeah.
So,
So here's the February girl. So if you see where her nose is, I missed this point here. But then the point here, it was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So I just try to make sure that my 1/4 inch seam is as close as possible.
Yeah.
And I would say 95% of the time. I get the points. Okay.
That's still a solid A. I mean, doesn't matter whose grading
Yeah.
system, right? It's still 95, still a solid A.
And then for me,
so-
when I go to quilt it, if it's not perfect, it's a really good friend of mine says, it's better to be done than perfect.
Yeah, and that's
Yep.
how I felt about the last quilt that I did. Like, it went home with Miss Daria. It's now in Macedonia. That thing was far from perfect. The binding was far from perfect, but it's done, it's gone, and she'll treasure it forever.
Mm-hmm.
Macedonian quilt police are going to be knocking on her door saying, pretty sure about that. So yeah, it seems like a few people are interested in seeing a tutorial on that, Martha. So yeah, if you want to do one,
Let me go and look for that real quick. One moment. Well, y'all go ahead and talk and I'll see what I can find.
So, but yeah, I think we'll go ahead and say goodbye in just a moment once Martha looks it up. But I want to thank you both for joining us. It's been a lot of fun hanging out and talking to you, Robyn, and meeting you and seeing just how easy it is really to have someone that is brand new. We always talk about how is this beginner friendly and that sort of thing there. But I figured this was a good way to put this to the test because, you're not someone that's been doing it 6 months or a year or longer. I mean, yes, you've had a lot of knowledge, like you said earlier, but this, you actually got
Knowledge is not the same as sitting in front of the machine. So I surprised myself after hearing and that was the purpose of the gnome, is something that's quick and friendly and is going to come together really easily. And I'm definitely a believer. So
Yes. Well, good.
I'm going to end up with something really cute that I'm going to be proud to share. And it's the first thing I've ever done.
And you should be.
So
yes, you should be very proud.
Don't let go of your first piece. Like, you'll look back at that six months from now, 6 years from now, and go, I'm so glad I kept it. This is my starting point. And it's awesome. I do just want to say a couple of things. We will have, if you want more entertainment, more lives today. A couple of my friends do have lives. Fallon from So Be It Quilts will have her live in about 18 minutes. You can go grab a coffee, grab a quick snack, head over to her. If it's over at So Be It Quilts, you can put in, actually, I'll do it real quick because I'm already here, over at her channel. And then I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern. You can head over and visit my friend Laura Lynn at Mum and Pop Quilt Shop. And I believe she is under Mom. Let's see if that works. We'll soon find out. So yeah, there's plenty more. There he is. Yes, I put both channel links in there. So that way, if you want more entertainment, it is definitely there for you. Please go support my friends. Definitely check Martha's channel out if you are not a subscriber already. And just check out all the wonderful videos that she puts out. And just have a wonderful. Did you find that link, Martha?
I think I got it. 1 second.
Okay. So
I believe that I talked about it more. The link that I just put in is for the January boy gnome. And because I did the unboxing video, but I really didn't know what the Quilt Smart Grid interfacing was at that point. So just doing it real quick, I really do believe it was the January gnome.
Okay, perfect. And if not, we'll figure it out.
I'm pretty sure that Quilt Smart Grid also has a tutorial, and the link is within our gnome section of our website.
Okay, let me go look real quick. If we have a minute, I'll go look.
Now, I would rather see what Martha's doing because I know her, but if you're looking for something to kind of give you an idea, I believe there's a link within our website as well.
And I always suggest people go, whenever you're looking for a tutorial how to learn something, go look at a few different videos. Like, how one person teaches versus another is always different. I try and teach what I think is good or how I like to learn, but not everybody learns the same way I do. So, I always recommend checking out my tutorials, but you might learn better from Martha or from Becca or from Tiff or from Donna or from somebody else. Like, go check a few out and see what speaks to you for that project. If you watch someone else's tutorial and learn from that, you're not going to upset me, I promise. I just want you to learn and be successful in whatever you do, whether it's, no matter how you got there, so All right, so I think we'll go ahead and say goodbye because, yeah, we're running over, but that's okay. You know, we always have a good time. Thank you all again for joining us. It's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing this little project. I'm so happy that you decided to join us, Robyn, and, you know, stepped
Well,
out
thank
there.
you for having me.
You're more than welcome. Yeah, having a complete beginner come on and join us, like, it's a big step. It's scary. I would not have done it if I was in your position. So yeah, thank you so much for doing that. This has been a lot of fun. Martha will have more videos coming out soon, I am sure. And
Yep.
I'll have my
On the one for March.
yes, yeah. But yeah, everything's still available. And then I'll have my podcast tomorrow. So yeah, I hope you'll have a wonderful quilty weekend. Definitely check out Fallon's live in a moment. Laura Lynn will be on later on, and then yeah, all our other friends have their regular scheduled lives. I can't keep track of them all, but that's what's coming up in the next few hours. So I hope you all have a good day, good morning, and goodbye to sweet Granny. Definitely check out the replay when you get a chance, because we are trying to say, yeah, we do need to head out because I've got other errands to run as well. So good quilting compound, and goodbye to Chloe and everybody else. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we will see you next time. Happy sewing.
Right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
And